Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize City Police and a nightclub owner are investigating a bizarre incident that happened over the weekend involving a female patron. A woman police constable comes under fire for a verbal exchange with Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat during village council elections, and a posthumous pardon for Nora Parham. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
That's our benefit are we, the people, supposed to pay?
The funding you pay, no, but when you get old, you got funding for college, for your future.
If you miss some days from work, they should have compensated for that.
As an artist, I'm not really sure because I work for myself.
What is Social Security? Social Security is not a tax. Social Security is a very small investment in you, the worker. It's an investment that you can count on now or in the future. It is designed to replace part of your income from wages when you get sick, get injured on the job, have a baby on the way, become disabled, or even when you pass away. And even then, the widow and your kids, if under 16 years or under 21 years and in school, obtain survivor's pension. And after a lifetime of working, you can rest assured you will have a monthly retirement income. Social Security, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Digifans, the 2022 Belize Telephone Directory is now available. Pick up your free copy at any Digistore and ENR branches countrywide. Check out our cellular, residential, and Yellow Page listings. It's the most complete guide in Belize. You can also access the directory on the go by downloading the free Find Yellow mobile app from the Google Play and Apple Store. For more info, log on to www.findyellow.com. The 2022 Belize Telephone Directory. Get your copy today.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
The Concacaf Nations League 2022 is ready to kick off. On Thursday, June 2nd at 4 p.m., your Belize Jaguars will host the Dominican Republic at the FFB Stadium in Belmopan. And after going on the road to play Guatemala on June 5th, they will be back on home turf on Thursday, June 9th as they take on the French Guyana national team at the FFB Stadium at 4 p.m. Catch all the action live from Belmopan on Channel 5 and on our News 5 Facebook page, June 2nd and June 9th, starting at 4 p.m. Let's support and cheer for our national team, the Belize Jaguars, as they get the ball rolling for this year's Concacaf Nations League Tournament.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, June 6th. I am Sabrina Daly. A young lady experienced what is being described as a breakdown inside a nightclub in Belize City on Friday night. She stripped herself of her clothing in the middle of the dance floor, to the surprise of many patrons who were present. Suspicions, all unconfirmed at this time, are that the young lady was either unknowingly drugged or willingly ingested a substance. But it is the initial response of the crowd of witnesses that has the Commissioner of Police and the owner of the establishment repulsed. Many of the party goers decided to pull out their phones and record the incident. And he says persons who leaked the video could face charges.
Those persons who took out their phone and videoed and then eventually leaked it in the public domain on social media, that amounts to cybercrime. They certainly can be dealt with because it amounts to causing embarrassment to the young lady. And again, it goes to show the society we live in. It's just like when we saw the BDF guy beating the individual in Orange Walk to death. People were passing by and nobody stopped to intervene. Nobody. They just took out their phone and recorded the whole incident as it occurred. Now with this one, the young lady in the nightclub, instead of trying to get something to cover the lady from being exposed, they just took out their phone and videoed her and then leak it out to the public. It speaks volume of the society we are currently living in.
The videos were put out by some really unscrupulous people. And I think that is the heart of this matter here. We pay 3 policemen. We have our manager, our cashier, my staff, and we take care of our people. Our motto at Tersis has always been, come as guests, leave as family. And we've been doing it for 13 years. The real issue here were the people who stood around and took those videos. The policemen responded. They did their job. I think they were confused, maybe. And as I thought, that's something that the commissioner and the minister of police have to address, not me. I pay police protection 3 nights a week. I have an in-house security here every night. Okay? So I'm not sure what was lacking, and I don't want to venture about what kind of training the policemen get or not get. they do have their rules of operating. You can't arrest a woman if you're a man and that kind of thing, no? So I'm not sure what people would have wanted to see. What I would have wanted to see is that those people, those phones, not pull them out and give us a chance to respond to this thing. It's not something that happens every day. It's the first time in 13 years. How do you respond to that?
While 3 male officers were on the ground, they responded with great caution. The owner of the nightclub believes that the policemen did not want to touch the young lady because of the long-held practice that women officers should address matters involving a female civilian. But Commissioner of Police Chester Williams this morning explained that, in this case, the male officers would have been acting to protect the young lady from being exposed. The owner of the establishment is conducting his own investigations to determine what really transpired.
Certainly, again, it might have a lot to do with the ignorance on the part of the officers. Because the law does not say that police officers cannot, or male police officers cannot intervene with situations involving women. It simply says that male police officers are not supposed to search women. In this case, she would not be searched. In this case, the officers would be acting to protect the woman from being exposed. And so I wouldn't see nothing wrong with them intervening to have made sure that her dress or her skirt was placed down so as not to have her exposed the way she was. And so maybe we need to do a bit more education within our ranks to make officers understand. In a case like that, they certainly could have acted. And even if it is that, as you said, they felt that they could not, then the right thing for them to have done then was to call for assistance from a mobile, or even from within the club itself. They could have called upon women inside the club to assist them in trying to deal with the situation. So it's a rather unfortunate situation. I can't fault the officers for it because, like I said, it could be a matter of ignorance on their part, and we just need to do more sensitization where that is concerned.
Thursdays is no drug haven, my friend. We are trying to find out what happened. It's us. The police have not come. The only news media is yourselves. And yes, I'm trying to gather some information. I think that perhaps the young lady might be the key to the whole thing, obviously. She knows, or she can suspect, she can tell us what she think happened to her. I can't say, I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't even here. First time in 13 years, I was not at Thursday on a Friday night. So I wasn't even here. So, yes, we are trying to find out. I've asked some questions, but you could do the same.
According to police, no official report has been made as yet. We continue to follow. A woman police constable is in hot water tonight following an alleged confrontation with Cayuse South Area Representative Julius Espat at the polling station in Tea Kettle Village on Sunday. But the officer is not being questioned because of the verbal exchange she had with Espat during the village council elections. Instead, the officer is under investigation for reportedly breaching the police department's code of conduct, as well as the public service regulations. The allegations are that the officer showed preference to a certain political party as a public officer, which is in contravention of the public service regulations. Furthermore, following the alleged confrontation with Espat, WPC Alyssa Trapp took to her Facebook page to share information about the encounter in a live video broadcast. This is considered a violation of the department's code of conduct. Now the officer in question is reportedly the common-law wife of the now unseated UDP Village Council chairman. But Compal Williams has not taken lightly to her social media rant, nor her publicly proclaimed support of the UDP during the Village Council elections. Here's a snippet of that live video at the Compal's response.
Well guys, I'm here live at the Tea Kettle Village Council election. And my name is Alyssa Trapp, and I'm not ashamed to say it, okay? So, just because I want to cast my vote, as I have right to cast my vote, whether it's red or blue, nobody can pick for me, and I choose who I want to vote for. But no, because I go and stand there, Mr. Julius Espat came to my face and pointed in my face and tell me I cannot be fucking there underneath the UDP tent. What the wrong is with this minister? Huh? He catch feeling because of my red shirt. I don't have a problem. And this is me, and I'm proud wearing my collar. I don't shame of my collar. This is my collar, and nobody can stop me because I wasn't born with a red shirt, right? So I could wear pink, red, blue, orange, purple any day I want because I no get paid to wear no red shirt or no blue shirt like how people do and get paid.
Let me first and foremost say that I was sent that bit of footage yesterday by a number of persons, having seen it live on social media. And upon receiving, I listened to it from start to finish, as I truly wanted to get a sense of what the issue was. Having listened to the video footage, even if we were to disregard her confrontation with the Honorable Julius Espat, as police officers, we do have a code of conduct. And we do not expect our members to be ranting and raging on social media the way she did. It certainly is a clear violation of our social media policy. That's one. Secondly, under the public service regulations, it clearly stipulates that members of public officers are not supposed to engage in any political activity or perhaps to show themselves to be preference to a certain political party. And as much as she tried in her life to make it seem as if she was out there as an independent-minded voter, and just a matter of coincidence that she was wearing a red shirt. In the same live she did, she made mention to the fact that Alberto Argas was standing there with our posters. So she said our posters. And it turned out that those posters that Alberto Argas had are UDP posters. So she automatically aligned herself with a political party while she was out there, which again goes against our regulations. Everybody knows the Honorable Espat to be a political, if you want to call it a political animal, not in a bad way. And so if it is that you put yourself in the political arena, you must take what comes to you. You can't get in a pig pen and not get muddy, no expect to get muddy. It's simply that.
We also reached out to Area Representative Julius Espat, who denies ever hurling expletives at the officer. Espat told us over the phone that he was simply attempting to point out to her unlawful behavior, which he says she confirmed in her live broadcast.
I don't recall any verbal abuse. I informed her that what she was doing was against the police regulations, and I requested that she stop campaigning. And she responded in a very aggressive way. You have to understand the scenario in which we were in. It's a very emotional arena out there. Music was loud, people were shouting. But there was no aggression on our part. I just thought it was important that she understood that what she was doing was wrong. You have to understand this officer, what is assigned to us at the Ministry of Finance when we have cabinet. So I know her. And when I saw her out there, I thought it was wrong. And I told her that you could do whatever you want to support your husband's campaign because she's the wife, I'm not either common law or full wife of the UDP chairman that was running. So I told her you could vote, that's fine. You can do background work for them, that's fine. You can do whatever, but you can't participate publicly and take sides. That's under the police regulation. And I assume she wasn't happy with that. But it was in the heat of the moment. After that, it happened in about a couple of seconds. It wasn't any big deal from our point of view. I thought it was over. And then in the evening, I got some clips of what she had posted online. And I took my time to listen to everything from start to finish. And in the online posting that she did, she basically confirmed what I was telling her, that she was campaigning, that she was not supposed to do it, and that I brought it to her attention.
Commissioner of Police Chester Williams has revealed new information about the alleged threats made on his life by Jasmine Harton. According to Compal Williams, prior to the recent allegations unfolding, he received threats on his life from Harton via text. According to the Commissioner of Police, while Harton has been released from police custody, she is not off the hook.
She's not completely off the hook as yet. The investigators are still doing certain work, and certain things were said. I personally have received a number of text messages from Miss Harton. How she get my number, I don't know, but she have found ways to message me prior to the alleged threat being made. And that's why I have no difficulty believing that she might have made certain threats because of the content of the message I had received from her. Be that as it may, I am not involved in investigation, and for good reasons. I don't want it to come across as if I am influencing the investigation because I am a subject of it in terms of being a complainant. But the investigators have certain things to do to be able to ascertain if in fact the threats were made, and then we see how we proceed from there.
Sir, so are you saying it's a common practice for Ms. Harton to send threats to your phone?
Yes, she have sent me a number of disturbing messages, yes.
Coming up, a retreat for gang members and at-risk youth to learn more about fatherhood.
Necesitas un proveedor de servicio móvil que te permita estar conectado con una cobertura LTE rápida y confiable en cualquier instante y desde cualquier lugar. ¿Quieres hablar con tu familia? ¿Compartir tus experiencias con alguien especial? ¿Administrar tu pequeña empresa? Para todo lo que necesites te mereces la mejor experiencia móvil. Ahora puedes hacer mucho más con los planes de datos postpago aumentados de Digi. Puedes disfrutar de 8 GB de datos en cualquier instante por tan solo $55 mensuales. O puedes compartir hasta 120 GB con 6 de tus amigos más cercanos. Estos son más datos LTE para que disfrutes durante el día, por las noches y los fines de semana sin restricciones. Disfruta a lo máximo con más datos para llamadas y mensajes ilimitados en todos los planes postpago de Digi. Visita la tienda Digi más cercana para inscribirte hoy. Solo necesitas una identificación válida y un comprobante de domicilio. Únete a la red de mayor velocidad y cobertura en Belice. Para más información visita nuestra página web www.livedigi.com o envíanos un mensaje a través de WhatsApp o Facebook. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
From the first day I met you, I knew my life was going to take a turn for the better, but I never knew just how much that was going to be. I've experienced things with you that I never thought possible. You showed me the beauty in the simplest things, and I've come to appreciate them immensely. I look at myself snuggling up at home with you and watching movies on a Friday night, or taking an evening stroll by the sea, and I'm reeling with excitement like it's the first time, every time. With you, I can just be myself, and I consider myself so lucky to be able to experience that comfort in our relationship. You somehow always manage to turn every day into a special occasion, a skill I absolutely commend you for. In my time with you so far, you've made me realize a lot about myself, and an important one is that my world is what it is because I have you in it, and I would very much like to keep you in it. So now, I have only one question for you. Turn around.
In exercise of the powers conferred upon it by the Public Utilities Commission Act, the Water Industry Act, the Water and Sewerage Bylaws, and all other powers thereunto enabling, the Public Utilities Commission hereby notifies the general public that it has made and issued the Belize Water Services Limited 2022 Annual Review Proceedings Initial Decision. On May 3, 2022, BWSL made a submission for an annual review proceeding under Article 27 of SI 67 of 2002, citing that they face exceptional circumstances in its execution of its business plan with the financial effects caused by COVID-19. In its submission, the company claimed that rising input prices and lower sales revenues had resulted in an accelerating in the mean water rate, and therefore requested the Commission approve an increase in revenue yields of 5% by changing the tariff structure and adding a fixed charge to non-residential customers. On June 2, 2022, the Commission made an initial decision accepting the condition of exceptional circumstances as presented by BWSL, but made a determination that BWSL has scope to grow its business and lower its cost structure, thereby maintaining the mean water rate below the currently approved $17.49 per 1,000 gallons. Therefore, the decision of the Commission is that the tariffs, fees, and charges levied by BWSL will remain unchanged for the period April 1, 2022 to March 31, 2025. The initial decision may be viewed in its entirety at the offices of the Public Utilities Commission at number 4 Princess Margaret Drive, 2nd floor Marina Towers, Belize City, or on the PUC website at www.puc.bz. The licensee and interested parties representing users of at least 10% of the water supplied by BWSL in the last calendar year may submit written comments, including objections, on the initial decision at the PUC's office or by email to info@puc.bz by Friday, June 17, 2022.
It was a ceremony like none other on Sunday, with emotions still evidently raw, even 59 years later. A posthumous pardon extended to the only woman to be hanged in Belize after she'd been wrongly convicted of the murder of her policeman partner. Her hanging happened in the early 60s, under colonial rule, when women's rights mattered little and lawmen were purported to do no wrong in domestic situations. So when Nora Parham, a mother of 8 young boys, spilled some kerosene from the iron she was using onto the clothing that her abusive common-law husband wore, and he later accidentally lit himself on fire, the law came down with brute force against her. But at the ceremony attended by the Speaker of the House, Valerie Woods, Supreme Court Justice Lisa Showman, Minister of Human Development Dolores Balderramos Garcia, and the mayors of Belize City and Belmopan, the government sought to once and for all right the age-old wrong. For the 8 sons of the late Nora Parham, the gesture means a lot. News 5's Marian Ali was present at the ceremony and filed the following report.
It took 59 years for an erroneous conviction and execution that robbed a woman of her life to finally be corrected. On the 59th anniversary of that miscarriage of justice, she was posthumously pardoned. On the morning of June 5, 1963, at 8 o'clock, Nora Parham was executed at the Old Belize Central Prison on Jail Lane. Prime Minister John Briceño, moved by the story behind Parham's execution, tearfully handed over the Belizean national flag to the deceased eldest son, Harold Parham. The handing over of the flag was preceded by Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie, who read the instruments, validating the pardon. Ambassador Leslie deputized for Governor General Froila Salam, who is away. While it's all symbolic, the gesture is significant for the 8 sons who lived to see this day and who were all present to witness it.
and duly acting in accordance with the advice of the Belize Advisory Council, do hereby posthumously and free from lawful conditions grant a pardon to Nora Parham, given under my hand and the public seal of Belize on the 31st day of May in the year of our Lord 2022.
We always knew that she was innocent, So we look at this as, they call it posthumous pardon, but we, what I hear mentioned also in the House, that it's actually an exoneration of her character, and that was what we were striving for from the very beginning.
History has it that Nora Parham intentionally lit her common-law husband, Ketchel Trapp, ablaze. However, details that later surfaced proved not only that she did not start the fire, but that she ran to Trapp's aid when she heard him screaming. Harry Parham said that the family had interviewed Agripina Espejo, who was present when Trapp gave his statement from his hospital bed. Espejo was shut down when she tried to point out the error that had changed Nora's fate, and from then on, there seemed to be a haste to convict and to hang her.
Espejo, who was in her late teens at that time, said that she was inside the courtroom when she heard the police read Trapp's declaration, and she immediately rebutted that statement that it had been changed. She said that they accused Nora of locking Trapp inside the latrine and lighting him on fire. Upon her rebuttal, she was charged with contempt of court. An appeal was sent to the Queen of England, and she had agreed to stay the execution, but the correspondence in those days were by either mail or telegram, right? And the correspondence came too late.
Parham shared that he had to run to Trapp's own fellow officers to intervene. So too did Trapp's only son, Anthony, who he fathered with Nora.
On many occasions, I remember while I was about 7 years old, 7, 8, during that time, I had to go during the night, sometimes at midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to the police station to ask them to send somebody to take Trapp out of the house.
But temporary intervention was all that Nora Parham got back then, and the vicious cycle continued until that fateful day. In colonial days, a woman who reported of being a victim of domestic abuse, particularly at the hands of a lawman, was frowned upon, as the children remember.
Women were not encouraged to go to police for help. They probably were even scared to go to ask for help, because many times they go in, make their complaints, it is ignored or treated very lightly, or sometimes they themselves were looked upon as not the victim but as the oppressor.
The execution of Nora Parham pulled her 8 sons apart from each other, but they found ways of locating each other and to stay in touch. Through the years, they have grown closer to each other and hold their mom's memory dear to their hearts. And it was evident at Sunday's memorial when Nora's granddaughter, Shari Parham Sanchez, paid this tribute to her late grandmother.
The day I had to leave you, when my life on earth was through, God picked me up and hugged me and said, I welcome you. God gave me a list of things that He wished for me to do, and foremost on that list was to watch and care for you. But one thing is for certain, though my life on earth is over, I'm closer to you now than I ever was before.
The sons were all dressed in lavender and black, a silent condemnation of domestic abuse. It is now what they all want serious action against.
Every major town in Belize should have some place manned with personnel that take these issues seriously and take it compassionately, where each case is recorded and appropriate action taken. They should now have a place they could depend on for counsel to deal with domestic issues, and thus would be able to prevent similar occurrences.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has received 3 gene expert machines along with viral load kits, laptops, and other digital equipment from the National Health Insurance. At a ceremony held earlier today, Minister of Health and Wellness Kevin Bernard said the donation comes through the partnerships of the ministry, the National Health Insurance, and the National AIDS Commission with the support of Global Fund.
This being an activity of the current HIV, TB, STIs, and hepatitis proposal being implemented in country under the theme Getting to 90-90-90 for the period of 2022-2024. Belize is now amidst a 5th wave of COVID-19 pandemic and its negative impact in our country. The National HIV team, however, continues the work of biomedical strengthening and decentralization of screening and testing services for HIV, TB, and COVID-19 across Belize. The National Response Team and partners remain at the helm and are supportive of all services that aim to decrease the impact of HIV in our population, and more significantly, in those at risk. This biomedical intervention will be used to monitor the treatment response in those affected and living with HIV/AIDS through viral load testing being the response to the highly effective HIV medications that are provided free of cost to all living with HIV. This real-time PCR platform has the potential of providing test results within a much shorter time period than conventional testing. Gene export capacity will help with early diagnosis of COVID-19 patients in the health regions, districts, including San Pedro or Isla Bonita.
The new Gene Expert machine with a 4-cartridge model capacity can be used to diagnose various types of viral and bacterial infectious diseases. And according to General Manager of the National Health Insurance, Dr. Ramon Figueroa, the grant from the Global Fund began a process of assessments and discussions. But the major challenges still lies ahead. That is, to go through the tedious task of preparing all the paper and technical work that need to take place now, in accordance with Global Fund procedures. Figueroa said that COVID has had some negative impacts on some of the gains made.
We need to push harder, work faster, and most importantly, work together. One of the key strategic changes in the national response is the decentralization of services, making access easier for the populations at risk. Some of the key planned activities highlighted are as follows, and I will just name a few. Support implementation of self-testing, procurement of dual test kits for HIV and syphilis testing to support immediate diagnosis and treatment among key populations. Procurement of the Gene Expert machines and cartridges to support the decentralization of diagnostics for TB, and viral load testing to all treatment sites, providing access to services for persons closer to where they live and work.
A group of 30 young men, many of whom are from gang-ridden communities in Belize City, will be participating in a 3-day retreat at Machaca Outreach in Toledo this weekend. A collaboration between the Department of Youth Services, the Leadership Intervention Unit, and the Band of Brothers, the initiative is geared towards helping these individuals to navigate fatherhood, as many of them have grown up without a father figure in their lives.
We have completed our family needs assessment,
And out of that family needs assessment, one of the strongest points, along with the University of Belize, that we recognize is the issue of matrifocality. Matrifocality is whereby women are running the homes and that men have not been there. And we keep seeing a situation whereby children are growing up without fathers. And we have decided to take a major step in ensuring that we try to bridge that gap, to bring our men at the forefront to be fathers. And therefore, as a result of that, we have teamed up with the Band of Brothers from Texas to be able to provide the type of services that we need to create fatherhood and to allow for our men to step up to the plate and become fathers.
Now I see these young men will take a trip down to Machaca, correct?
Yes.
Talk to us about that and what that intends to achieve in terms of having these young men together.
Yeah, well, one of the most important things is the whole issue of culturalization, to be able to have them come together and to be able to teach them about themselves and to let them recognize the fact that, you know what, you came from a father, you came from a mother, and you are rearing children in our society, and therefore it is important for you to also step up to the plate and be a father. At the same token, you need to recognize that spirituality and religion, no matter what people say, plays a great role. We need to recognize that there's a higher power, and we want to give them that opportunity to recognize that and to be able to be fathers and to be able to bring that level of spirituality to the whole concept of their culturalization of their children.
According to William Dawson, director of the Leadership Intervention Unit, the idea is to introduce various aspects of fatherhood to these young men in order to create and foster a bond between them and their children.
Department of Youth Services, along with the LIU and the Band of Brothers, are hosting this initiative where we're housing 30 young men at the Machaca Resort from June 8th to June 11th, and we're hoping that this parenting workshop will build the capacity of the young men. And what we want to do is try to bring more to the table as it relates to the role as parent, especially as a father, and the responsibility. It's not to suggest that these guys aren't good parents, but what we want to do is to make sure that at the end of the day, we provide that level of support for them based on the stigma that many of these young men who are involved in crime and violence really either die or go to prison and leave their children at on the mercy of the world. And so we want to try to see how we can do our part in providing that access for them to be able to be mentored and to be given that opportunity to understand their role, especially as fathers.
After the break, sizable fisheries busts at Lighthouse and Glover's Reef. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
One house at a time, make we count for the 2022 census. One house at a time, make we count. Work towards the future, everybody count. We need information and your cooperation. Everybody in the Belize population. Mommy, daddy, pick me on the senior section. Plus we need help from the youth population. From all over, we need data to measure development in every area. Every aspect in the Belizean culture. 8867 every border. Make we count for the 2022 census. One house at a time, make we count. We work towards the future, everybody count.
The 2022 Population and Housing Census. Participate, respond, be counted.
Westtrac Limited is committed to working hard every day to ensure you get the right products at the most affordable price. We strive to have the greatest selection of quality, affordable, and timely products and services that will enhance your personal or corporate lives. With an extensive line of products, we'll be sure to have what you need. For even faster service, you can contact us on Facebook, WhatsApp, or by email. We look forward to seeing you come through our doors at your nearest Westtrac branch today.
The government of Belize has been blazing a trail and delivering on every milestone of its tax reform program. Iris Belize was launched in 2021 and its second phase is here in 2022. It provides taxpayers and or their representatives with the ability to sign up for Iris Belize. You'll now be able to inquire, file, and pay online. This means that tax clients like you are able to sign up online and get access to individual and companies' tax accounts. No more long lines. Contactless, safe, from support, from the privacy and safety of your homes and offices.
My parents always said, when it's time to build, invest in quality products that last a lifetime, even if it means paying a little more. It is now my turn to invest in my own home, and it's not even a question. It has to be Oran Windows. My contractor recommends Oran because of the heavy-duty construction, the thickest gauge blades on the market, and the dual locks that allow lower louvers to close independently for privacy while the top remains open for airflow. These features make Oran aluminum louver windows the best on the market.
With Oran aluminum louver windows, you get strength, durability, and beauty with an added layer of security and protection against debris and damaging winds. Come in and check out the variety of sizes and colors at Design Depot, located at Mile 3 Philip Goldson Highway in Belize City.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. Diginet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. Diginet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
On Friday night, during a gala event at the Biltmore, the conservation community wished Belize's barrier reef a happy 10,000th birthday. It's quite an achievement, despite the challenges of climate change, coral bleaching, or other stresses to the marine ecosystem. Representatives of the Ministry of Blue Economy, Oceania, the Belize Audubon Society, and the World Wildlife Fund gathered to celebrate the occasion. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The pride, the sense of
just overwhelming Belizean identity. That is what we think of when we think of the Belize Barrier Reef. We think of the home to 1,400 species of flora and fauna, at least 17 threatened species, supporting one of the largest populations of the vulnerable West Indian manatee, endangered turtles, your hawksbills, your loggerheads, your azure colors of blues, your jewels. We always refer to Belize as this jewel, and we always refer to the 450 sand and mangrove islands as the emeralds and pearls in that crown.
10,000 years since its formation, the Belize Barrier Reef system has reached another milestone. It's the kind of anniversary celebration that doesn't include a birthday cake, balloons, or candles, but its significance nonetheless is not lost on the conservation community.
So why 10,000 birthday, you may ask? Well, our research have found that modern reefs, including the Belize Barrier Reef, are approximately 5,000 to 1,000 to 10,000 years old. So we have decided to go with the upper end of this range estimate to celebrate our reef.
The Belize Barrier Reef system was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996. It consists of 7 protected areas that are significant habitats for threatened species. Together, they make up 12% of the entire reef complex and illustrate the evolutionary history of reef development.
We recognize the value of our barrier reef to our country, including coastal protection, fisheries, and tourism, among many other forms of economic and environmental support. As a ministry, we are very serious about this mandate that has been given to us. We call it learning to master, that exquisitely choreographed balance between taking advantage of our aquatic resources to catapult the economy of this country, but doing so in a manner that is environmentally sustainable and responsible.
Over the years, the Belize Barrier Reef system has proven itself to be an invaluable source of revenue for the country from tourism and fisheries.
The annual economic contribution of reef-related tourism, fisheries, and scientific research was estimated to be 15% of Belize's gross domestic product. In terms of coastal protection, coral reefs and mangroves provide coastal protection for up to 40% of Belize's population that lives along the coast. These ecosystem values are significant. They were estimated at around $390 million per annum.
Happy 10,000th birthday to the Belize Barrier Reef system. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Today, a preview of the 2022 Mesoamerican Reef Report card was launched, and the news is not so good. The preliminary report by Healthy Reefs Initiative finds that the health of the reef has declined. The data was collected by 77 surveyors from 36 organizations between June and December 2021. The data reveal that of the 234 sites in Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, which are used to produce the report card, 44% are ranked as poor. The number of sites ranked as critical has also doubled to 31%. Only 12 sites, or 5%, were found in good condition across the entire reef. News 5's Dwayne Moody spoke with country coordinator Nicole Craig about what's been happening in Belize.
Approximately 3 million people depend on healthy reefs for food as a source of income and protection from natural disasters, so protecting the reef is critical. The Mesoamerican Reef Report Card 2022 suggests that the health of the reef has declined over the last 5 years. Nicole Craig, the country coordinator for Healthy Reefs, says that the report has shown a decline in the reef health to a poor rating, similar to 2006.
The region experienced a decline, and if we want to zoom into Belize, we saw a national decline. We went from 3.0 to 2.0 overall. But that 2.0 is made up of scoring a couple indicators. So we're going to score fleshy macroalgae, commercial fish, herbivorous fish, and live coral cover.
The grades are 1 to 5. The conditions are from critical to very good. The Reef Health Index says that this year's regional score is 2.3 out of 5. This is the second decline since the region's best score in 2018. It is a reflection of the Mesoamerican Reef, which encompasses 4 countries, including Belize, Honduras, Mexico, and Guatemala. Zoning into Belize, Craig explains the critical figures.
In terms of commercial fish and herbivorous fish, we have seen some serious declines. I believe commercial fish went down by 60% and herbivorous fish down by 50%, and these are alarming numbers. And in for example, commercial fish that's in critical condition, and in 5 of our subregions, it's in critical condition, so that is pretty alarming. In terms of fleshy macroalgae, that again decreased by 1%, and that's what we want to see. We want to see less algae on the reef, the less the better. And it's been declining for some time over the past few years, but it's still at 18%, I believe, and that's still too high. And that's threatened even more now by the decrease that we see in herbivorous fish. So there's an initiative right now underway that's going to address this. So we've collaborated with TASA, Turnef Atoll Sustainability Association, who are working on a culture program that's going to grow crabs that eat algae. And in collaboration with fishermen, as soon as we figure out how to grow them, we're going to put more of these crabs out on the reef.
There is some good news as it relates to coral cover, which increased by 1% overall.
Coral cover, that's part of the good news in this story. It showed a 1% increase, and it has actually been increasing by 1% at a time over the past few report cards. And we're mentioning that the reefs are facing a lot, warmer waters, more frequent bleaching events, and these are stressing the reef. And so between that and more diseases, there's a lot of changes we're seeing in the types of coral. So we have more corals, but what kind, right? We're seeing less of the bigger ones, like the grains and the boulder corals, the ones that really help to build our reef structure. And those are the same ones that are kind of impacted by this coral disease, stony coral tissue loss disease.
There's an ongoing project using an antibiotic treatment for coral being affected by this tissue loss disease. The results have been positive, and so the project will be scaled up. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Fisheries enforcement officers made significant busts on Sunday in the vicinities of the Lighthouse and Glover's Reef atolls. Personnel from the Fisheries Department were on patrol in these locations when they came across several fishermen who were illegally harvesting various out-of-season and endangered species of conch and fish. The men, including an individual who was fishing without a license, will be taken before the Magistrates Court in Belize City on Tuesday, where they will face charges related to the seizure.
There were 2 operations, one yesterday afternoon and one last night. The operation that went out at Lighthouse Reef about 3:40 in the afternoon resulted in the search of a vessel which was moored or anchored 1 mile southeast of Hat Key on the Lighthouse Reef atoll. Their officers engaged 3 fishermen who were on a vessel cleaning products. Upon searching the vessel, they found a couple finfish and some fillet, which were legal in their icebox. Upon searching, a thorough search of the vessel, lifting up of the plank, inside the vessel, they discover a white crocus sack filled with what appears to be fish fillets. Officers opened the bag, and there were primarily 74 spotlight parrotfish fillets. There were two other black dorg midnight parrotfish there. In addition, there were 12 pieces of angelfish and 8 pieces of ocean triggerfish, all of which is part of species protection under the new Fisheries Resource Act, Schedule Section 88. Now, under this section of our act, the fine is $1,000 Belize per piece. Totaling in terms of these protected species, there was 100 pieces of fish fillet from these 3 species that are protected. So that's what these 3 individuals are going to face tomorrow morning when we take them to court. They'll be charged for possession of these. In addition to that, there were 68 pieces of fish fillet without skin patch. Because those didn't have on skin patch, those fall on another section of our law, which the new fine, which was just released earlier this year, of $50 to $100 per. That's for fishes without skin patch. All right? So basically, that's the kind of fine these 3 individuals from Lighthouse Reef is looking at. Now, the addition for Glover's Reef, those 2 individuals there, they are facing the fine of 4 different fisheries offenses that occur. Fishing inside a conservation zone. Primarily fishing inside a conservation zone is a minimum of $5,000. All right, because once any offense occurs within a marine protected area, the minimum fine is $5,000. Then in addition to that, they were found with 61 undersized conchs in the shell. For that, they'll be fined minimum of $2,000 once it's within the marine reserve. All right. Fishing inside a conservation zone, because it's a special use zone, it carries a heavier fine of $5,000, and then all the other offenses, minimum, the penalties, the fine, sorry, is $2,000, and the penalties on a marine reserve goes with the 5, like in the case of the undersized conchs, in the shell, those will be $50 to $100 Belize per.
When we return, 9 athletic scholarships to promising Olympians. But first, here is a weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
When all hope is lost and the days ahead look grim, we find ourselves looking for someone to shake things up, rescue us, and point us in the right direction. What if the one we've been waiting for has been here all along? Join us for our new series, Troublemaker, as we learn about a man who wasn't afraid to stand up for what's right to make this world a better place.
What if the profits of your bank were shared equally with you instead of with unknown shareholders and large corporations? What if those profits remained in Belize to enrich the communities where we live? What if just having an account with your bank meant that you were now a part owner of that bank? What if your voice mattered and you had a say in how your bank is being run? What if your bank was always looking out for your best interests and its biggest goal was to see you succeed? That's what it means to be part of a credit union where all of our members are in this together. Communities work best when they work for each other. Cooperation strengthens us all. Discover the credit union difference and find out just how stronger we can be together.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Garantizamos contener
a los pacientes que ahí estamos manejando y disminuir riesgos de infecciones para el resto del hospital.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Reusable plastics. Did you know that until we find an alternative for plastic and all its uses, we will continue to need plastics, such as in the health sector? Plastic becomes a huge problem for Belize when it becomes waste and is improperly disposed of. When it is thrown on the side of the road and in our rivers and seas, it's eaten by animals and in turn by people, and it becomes an environmental and health issue. It costs us money for disposal, filling up dumps and landfills, and paying for associated healthcare. So what can you do? Choose to refuse single-use plastics is step 1. Step 2, instead, use the plastics that were meant to be reused, like coffee cups, water bottles, and food containers. We're not talking about buying a $1 bottle of water. I mean, you can, but how long will that last you? Reusable plastics keep plastics out of the environment for a much longer time and are even better than other forms of plastics, like biodegradable or even compostable or bio-based plastics. By reusing, you are also saving money since you aren't rebuying the same thing over again. Think about it. How many bottles of water do you buy every week? How much does that cost compared to the cost of a reusable bottle? Imagine what you can do with the extra money. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
The Concacaf Nations League 2022 is ready to kick off. On Thursday, June 2nd at 4 p.m., your Belize Jaguars will host the Dominican Republic at the FFB Stadium in Belmopan. And after going on the road to play Guatemala on June 5th, they will be back on home turf on Thursday, June 9th as they take on the French Guyana national team at the FFB Stadium at 4 p.m. Catch all the action live from Belmopan on Channel 5 and on our News 5 Facebook page, June 2nd and June 9th, starting at 4 p.m. Let's support and cheer for our national team, the Belize Jaguars, as they get the ball rolling for this year's Concacaf Nations League Tournament.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Belize lost its second game in the Concacaf Nations League on Sunday in Guatemala City. The loss comes on the heels of another against Dominican Republic last Thursday, in which Belize lost 2-0. Both teams went into the match having lost their previous game, so they were in similar standing. In the first half of the game, there was an auto goal when Belize's defender Dishon Nemhard hit the ball over goalkeeper Charles Tillett. It was a slip that Team Belize did not recover from. Today, News 5 spoke to team manager Ian Jones about the team's performance.
I can honestly say that we lost our game. I can't say that Guatemala beat us. I mean, we gave up an auto goal and a penalty. Our goalkeeper was exceptional in the post. Our defense line was exceptional, and we also missed 3 or 4 great opportunities where I believe under normal circumstances, our strikers would have sealed the deal for those. But, you know, it wasn't an easy game. And Guatemala was not the best of hosts to us. The Guatemalan coach spoke to us afterwards and said that, you know, Belize has a very good team. It's just unfortunate for us, unfortunate for him, because if he had lost the game, it would have been his job.
It wasn't an easy game, but like how I said, I had to give my all to help the team. The result wasn't positive, but I guess we still have opportunity to qualify for World Cup.
Let's talk about that auto goal yesterday. What happened?
Well, I guess it's just miscommunication, me and my defenders. And I guess it was too early in the game too, in the 9th minute. But even though after that, we hold up until the 70th minute, till we gave up a penalty. But we were defending good though.
Yes, we lost in Belize and now we lost in Guatemala 2-0 and lost in Belize 2-0. But me as the captain and leading the ship, just have to get the group together and stay focused because we got 2 more games coming up at home and in French Guiana. We got a lot of young players, but I just have to keep on motivating those guys on and off the field.
During the announcement of the team, it was said that Belize needs 3 wins and 1 draw to be able to advance to the Gold Cup in 2023. But with 2 losses so far, News 5 asked team manager Ian Jones about Belize's chances of making the cut.
This grouping has been very interesting because, I mean, everybody thought that Guatemala and then Belize would be the top team in this group, and then French Guiana really and truly were to be the underdogs. But the way things has played out, I mean, DR beat us in Belize, they earned 3 points. And then French Guiana defeated Guatemala in French Guiana and earned 3 points. And then in DR, when French Guiana and DR met, everybody was of the belief that, you know, DR would earn 6 points, they would topple French Guiana, but French Guiana came out and defeated them as well. So, and then we lost to Guatemala. So French Guiana has 6 points, DR has 3 points, and Guyana has 3 points. We have 0. So mathematically, because of how the other games have played out, it's still anybody's race in terms of this grouping, because we have 2 games right now in June remaining, which is against French Guiana. Again, this is a team that we have defeated before, and you know, we're going into the game with the intention of winning the game here in Belize and then traveling to French Guiana and win that game. That would then put us at 6 points. And then it's anybody's game between DR and Guatemala, because the grouping seems to be evenly matched this time around. We have to win the next 2 games in June, which would be both against French Guiana, 1 in Belize and 1 in French Guiana. And then in March, we need to win and at least win and draw a game in March for us to still be able to qualify for the Gold Cup.
This afternoon, 9 athletes signed contracts for Olympic scholarships in preparation for Paris 2024. It was held at the Olympic House on Princess Margaret Drive, where 5 track and field athletes, 2 cyclists, 1 sailing and 1 judo athlete will now be able to finance their training and improve their skills in the hopes to compete at the Olympic Games in the next 2 years. News 5's Dwayne Moody was there along with representatives from the various associations who proudly stood watch as their athletes received much needed support.
It was a proud moment for 7 of the 9 athletes who were present for the official signing of the scholarships from age 17 and up. And after a rigorous process, these athletes from various disciplines were chosen by a selection committee to benefit from monies to be used for training and nutrition over the next 2 years.
1 athlete will be getting $500 US per month, 6 will be getting $750 US per month, and 2 will be getting $1,250 US per month. It's broken down in 1 from Sailing Association, 1 from Judo Association, 2 from cycling, and 5 from athletics.
How did this come about, this program?
Well, this program is from the Olympic Solidarity Program. It's not the first time, but it's the first time it's being run this way.
The contract for the monthly financial support comes with commitments from the athletes and their respective national federations or associations, conduct, anti-doping, training, and more. 2 of the athletes, namely Hilary Gladden and Sean Gill, are benefiting from the scholarship for a second time. 29-year-old Gill is studying mechanical engineering at Texas A&M University. He says that with the support, he will likely make it to Paris 2024.
The biggest thing about it is that it really allows you to focus on your training. You know, as some of the guys mentioned earlier, simple things like getting to training, catching a bus, a train, a taxi, or in my case, a Uber, this funds come in very, very handy, so it really allows you to focus on your training. And I believe for me, that's why I seen the results I saw last year and last season. The rules always state, similar to the scholarship, you have to perform. So same in America, if you're not performing academically, you can't run. So, and you need to run so that you can stay in school, because it goes hand in hand. So, but you just go through the challenges every day, and it's not easy, but, you find a way.
Twin sisters Ashanti and Ashanti Carr returned from Jamaica back in January, where they were studying and training in track and field. They were both successful with their application for the Olympic scholarship.
Financially, it's going to help us a lot. We have been training in Jamaica. We came back January to continue our education online and continue training here, which will be easier for us because training and school across Jamaica is very hard to balance both. So we just chose to be here, and with the financial help, it will take us a long way.
Meanwhile, 18-year-old cyclist Derek Chavarria has been riding for 10 years and says that he will put in the work.
It's my first time on the scholarship. I believe it'll help a lot since cycling is really not really an expensive sport. It includes mechanicals that issues you may have, which other sports includes nutrition and training, etc.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The Belize Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association will soon see its headquarters, located adjacent to the Marion Jones Sporting Complex on Princess Margaret Drive, completed. The building, named the Olympic House, will serve as the administration office for the association and will also provide a space for national associations to host meetings. In breaking down its function, Secretary General of the Belize Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association Alan Sharp says that the building, when completed, will surpass $1.5 million.
The building will surpass $1.5 million. We've tried to do everything in duty-free status. We have also tried to make it an energy efficient building because we don't want to be spending the funds in the utilities. We want to spend the funds in the people who are here and all the national federations. We believe it's going to be a major part of our development because we're having an area downstairs for holding seminars and meetings for the national federation. So instead of having it in their houses or any small area, they can come downstairs and have it. Major training can also happen downstairs. We have a big open area. We hope to develop it into a state-of-the-art facility for giving lectures. And then upstairs here we have the office for the administration, and the open area behind you is where we hope eventually to have up to 12 people that will work for the 19 different national federations we have at this time, because just about every national federation is volunteer. So to step to the next level, we need to have some full-time people to help them to organize, to do everything, to answer all those communications you need, to ask for funding. This is all necessary. We need help.
Just ahead, a recap of Cancer Walk 2022.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Creamos un concepto que denominamos quirófano santuario no COVID.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Messi. Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Former UDP Minister Rena Montero is still wanted by police on a single charge of willful oppression. Police have been seeking his whereabouts for the past 7 months. And tonight, we can tell you that his attorney has made a commitment to police that he will turn himself in as soon as he returns to the country. According to the Commissioner of Police, Montero is expected to arrive in the country in July.
We are counting on the undertaking given by the attorney for Mr. Montero. And we're hoping that, in fact, when he returned to the country, I was given a timeline. We have not reached a timeline as yet, but I am almost confident that once we reach a timeline that the attorneys are going to bring him in. So we'll wait for that.
An investigation into the accidental poisoning of a toddler in San Felipe village on Tuesday of last week has led the Commissioner of Police to believe that the father of the child made a genuine mistake. As we reported, 2-year-old Melanie Santos was found eating bread laced with lanate, a pesticide, only moments after her father, 42-year-old Orlando, placed the laced bread on top of the bedhead to kill rats. Today, Paul Williams told reporters that the matter is a complex one.
Obviously, from what we have seen and heard, it seemingly is a genuine mistake on the part of the father, or can be looked at as a matter of negligence. I am sure that as a family they have suffered enough, having to see their child going through what the child went through as a result of what had happened. And we really have to put a bit of humanity in how we approach the situation. And I certainly would not want to see the parents having to go through another situation with this. It certainly is going to be hard on them. But what we are doing is to put the file together, and then we're going to send it to the DPP office for guidance in terms of where we go. It is not a matter for us to decide. Again, it's a complex issue, and where we have complex issues, we would normally refer to the DPP for guidance. So that's what we're going to do in this case.
After a 2-year hiatus, the Cancer Walk was back in full swing over the weekend. It was different this year. The crowd was visibly smaller than before, but the energy remained the same, even though the route changed to Belize City. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Hundreds of Belizeans got up early on Saturday morning and made their way out to the Marion Jones Sporting Complex as one of the biggest cancer awareness events took place. Cancer Walk 2022 saw entire families Staff members from different businesses and schools participate. They all took the trek from Marion Jones on Princess Margaret Drive over Belcon Bridge, down the stretch of Central American Boulevard, past Cesar Ridge Road, Yarborough, Regent Street, across the Swing Bridge to the Baron Bliss Lighthouse and along Marine Parade. The walkathon ended back at the Marion Jones.
It was really heartwarming when we got out here and we saw so many supporters. We were just a little bit anxious moving it to the city, but I have to say the Belize City people, the entire country, because we saw representatives from different districts, everybody came out to support us.
Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner was among those who came out for the walk.
It's great to be back, man. It's a great event. Really bring out on the awareness of cancer, how it has impacted adversely the lives of many our Belizean residents, and certainly by me coming out here to show that support, I feel awesome about it, and it's great to have this type of activity back again in the city.
Many persons wore shirts purchased from the Belize Cancer Society as a way of businesses and individuals contributing to the cause. Coming out in huge numbers were the youth, including students from the Belize High School.
We actually partnered with the Belize Cancer Society, and so we got about 65 registrations just from our school. We're only 200, so I'll take it this year. It's the first time back. Next year we'll go for more.
You know, this is all about creating awareness. Everybody, some way, somehow, knows somebody who is fighting cancer, or have lost the fight, or survived it. Is it the same for you?
For sure, for sure. I think every one of us has been touched. I have uncles, grandfathers, aunts, everybody has been touched. And unfortunately, not everybody's a survivor. So cancer is one of the things that we have to keep pushing.
We work with the youth, we work with the community. And this is our crowd here. You will have like 50 persons out here.
Oh, yeah, wow. Yeah. Why did you guys decide to participate?
Well, we partner, we're working with the Belize Cancer Society. We give a donation, and we know that we have to represent our community and work together. That's the reason why we're here.
While traffic personnel assisted with traffic control throughout the streets of the city, about 80 officers attached to the Belize Police Department participated in the walk. They also did a barbecue, and the proceeds will go to the Belize Cancer Society.
We have lost several of our officers to cancer, and it is only right that we support the Cancer Society in this fight against this deadly disease.
Cancer survivor Beverly Terry, a poster woman of sorts for the cause, took the opportunity to give thanks to the Belize Cancer Society for helping her to overcome stage 4 breast cancer.
This day couldn't pass and I didn't come out here. I really wanted to come out here to show my support, just that I know what they do for others, I know what they do for others. When you hear cancer, immediately you either think death or it's a lot of money. Well, I never think death. I think it's a lot of money, and by God's grace, I got through. I had a tremendous support, and I want to give thanks for that.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.